Greetings and welcome back to the TR Show. Today we present to you things that you have been overlooking, especially the bloggers and vloggers of today's time, the YouTubers and all the people who present things on the media. There are certain things that most people have been overlooking, and today I want to highlight some of them for you. So, 2 days after Peetah passed, I wanted to upload a video of things that we talk about behind the scene, myself and Peetah and other people in the band. I was so overwhelmed with the news that I struggled to make the video. So at 2 minutes, I just uploaded some behind the scenes without saying one word. I just uploaded 2 minutes of that. It's on my page. You can go take a look of it. It was basically playlist that Peetah would listen to, different types of music and, artists that Peetah would listen to on our days off. But yeah, as I said, I was overwhelmed and I just couldn't bother to make the full video. Anyway, today, what I'm about to do is correct some misinformation that is out there. And I'm not going to blame some of you about it, but I'm just going to say that since it is out there now after the memorial service, then we should start to correct those information. So the first one I want to start with is Peetah's birthday. Google would have it that he was born in 1977. That's incorrect. It was 1973. Now, that information has been out there for over a week now. So if you look on the programs for the funeral, it is there. If you look on all the flyers for the funeral, it is there. Meaning Peetah was going to be 51 this year. So you've overlooked that. So there you go. Peetah is 50. Another one that every YouTuber, every blogger, vlogger, everybody who is media, even mainstream media companies, have been wondering, and some have been putting it out there that, they put it in the title, real reason why Peetah died, cause of death, Peetah's cause of death, and all these things, plus the rumors and the speculations. There are people who are thinking that he died from cancer.
Other reports, Gramps confirmed that it was not cancer, but instead
stroke is the number one thing that has been out there. Well, at least that's what most people think or believe. Speculations still arising from this situation.
There's widespread speculation about Peetah's passing.
Speculations. Well, there don't need to be speculations.
Yes, there has to be speculations because Peetah was loved and people want to know what happened. So if we're not told what happened, then we're going to speculate. So yes, there's a need to speculate. Gramps.
I mean, as the family described it and the doctor described it, he had a condition that was 1 in a million. And if it was that 1 in a million, that what catch Peetah,
So this 1 in a million thing happened, right? And this is so hard to say what it is. Now, this calls for even more speculations. Boy, Gramps, you never make it easy. You didn't make it easier. You actually made it harder. And even though you were saying there should not be speculations, you created more speculations. Can you imagine a one-of-a-kind disease in the world that is so serious and dreadful? Or, when you think about it psychologically, what can the disease you don't want to talk about
But the greatest thing is to know that he didn't suffer, wasn't in no pain.
He didn't suffer. He wasn't in any pain. Um, um, you know what's funny? I probably would have leave this because trust me, I had this video and I didn't want to say anything. But believe me, family members been putting out little things out there. And believe me, if some of the family members just, stay quiet, some of us like me would probably chill. But when you put things out there, then it begs for more question. Because you say this, but then another sibling says something else. And if you think I'm joking, look at this video.
Mama, when I was with Peetah in Jamaica, my son, Gramps Morgan III, finally got a chance to do a song with him. And the song said, Mama, don't cry. Because this child is surely gonna make it. And he made it. He's made it. The world has seen our brother. So for this, I give God thanks for everything. Because he's not in pain anymore. People don't know my brother struggled. He struggled. But all in his struggle, he kept going. So we must keep going. We must keep going. Peetah Morgan. Thank you.
And it wasn't no cancer, it wasn't no crazy fatal disease. But like I said to people, that I reserve that right to his wife in respect of that and his children.
And here we go again. Now, I respect that he found a way to not say what it is and to get himself out of it. But don't you think that was putting a little bit of pressure on his wife, who was already undergoing a lot of pressure? Now it is on her to say what it is, and everybody. And you went as far as say, you can go look her up on social media. Can you imagine? She's going through her crap, and a lot of people on social media is now reaching out. Hey, how did your husband pass? How did Peetah pass? That's too much pressure for the wife. Well, that's just my perspective. And I think probably Gramps was caught by surprise. He was under pressure. He didn't want the pressure to be on him. But Gramps, I didn't think it was right for you to put it on Peetah's wife and kids. I think you should have more. I think if it was this is what I would say. This is a collective effort of the family. We have to come together and have a meeting and decide if we're ever going to say this. But for now, it remains private. Just say, sorry, but this is private and it needs to be held in the family. But you cannot point out that the wife reserved that right to say it. It's the entire family. And you all have to come together as a family and say, okay, we're not saying what it is because this is too dreadful. But then what is so dreadful that we can't say what it is? That's the crazy part. Now, cancer is one of the worst disease, sickle cells, diabetes, even AIDS. You said it was not any of these diseases. But people who have those diseases are not afraid to say. People who are dying from cancer say they're dying from cancer. People who are dying from diabetes say it. People who are dying from whatever disease is not afraid to say it. So what the hell is this that we cannot say? Huh?
And, it was a ailment where nobody expected. It just happened like we was in Jamaica in January, and in less than 30 to 45 days, brother transition, So we kind of leave that. That part is privacy for the family. People are going to speculate because of the nature of how it happened, and it happened so fast. It wasn't a situation that was prolonged. But we reserve that for the family, that's their privacy. That's his wife. That they can look her up on social media and talk to her, but that's them personal business. But it wasn't AIDS, it wasn't none of them something there. But it was a diagnosement where, if that is even a word, that is very rare. 1 in a million, like I said. And if it was that 1 million, that happened to my brother.
Jano, it rough. It rough. When me say it rough, me mean say it really rough because he's already dead. He's already passed on. There is oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm doing this. But when you think of it on a when you think of it from a psychological point of view, what kind of a thing people are normally afraid to talk about publicly? Normally something disgraceful, right? Normally something that will make a person look bad, something that will make a family look bad. So you want to tell me that this particular disease, of course it is 1 in a million, so it is worse than cancer, worse than AIDS, worse than diabetes, worse than sickle cell, worse than any disease one can ever imagine. 1 in a million, and Peetah was bad lucky enough for him to get caught into this situation. Now here is the funny part. I felt my father passed away in 21, and I didn't feel my father died from a stroke and from multiple strokes eventually. He had a first stroke, a second stroke, and then 7 strokes, and then he eventually died. When my father passed away, I didn't feel the hurt that I feel when Peetah passed away. And there was more to it that caused me to feel even worse after Peetah died. And this was caused by the family that I was working with. Anyway.
So we just pray that his soul rest in peace. Him dreamed me already, so I'm happy about that. And he told me to go and finish the show.
Well, Gramps, it's very deep. Very saddened, but
Yes.
the fact
Yes.
that you have a space like this,
Yes.
and the love that I have heard coming forward for your brother, for the family,
Yes.
extraordinary.
People are still wondering and begging, and the questions are sticking out. What happened to Peetah? What really happened? Well, I must say that the family, while they want to be secretive about it, or should I say private, while they are private about their family issues, they also have been putting out little hints where if you follow these hints, you might get an idea as to what really happened. So it's just for you to look into things, and you might have an idea of possibilities. Another thing that we want to look at is the many what you call clickbaits, because everybody wants to know what happened to Peetah. Then every blogger and vlogger decided that they're going to put that in their titles: cause of death, the real reason why Peetah died.
This situation in particular upset me to the core. And the reason why this was so upsetting is that every vlogger would put that in their titles: real reason why Peetah died. And then when you watch the video, halfway through the video, they didn't say it yet, or they didn't have a clue. At the end of the video, no one had a clue, because I was a part of the crew and didn't know what exactly happened to Peetah. I knew something was wrong, but I could not say what exactly happened. And it would be more credible if I came out and make a video and say this is the cause of Peetah death. You know, it would be far more credible than all these people, but yet they do that. But I understand. People were mad in the comment section saying you're even exploiting the dead, you're exploiting the family. Why you all do put up this crap? And so this is why. This is literally 2 years later. I made this video. I started making this video from 2024. And I just couldn't release it because I didn't have any evidence. I didn't have anything to say, okay, this is really what happened. And of course, the immediate family kept it from the extended family. Or a part of the extended family,
This,
you know?
that, blah, blah, and the devil knows what. Well, as a musician who've toured with the man for years, I can tell you that there were days when Peetah struggled. There were days when he wasn't well. But as close as I am, I didn't know exactly what happened to Peetah. Even those days, I would speculate and I'd say he probably is just coming down with the flu. There were days when, like when at the end of the show we do the last song and, the crowd would be raging for an encore. There were days when Peetah could not do another song. When he walks off stage, that's it. There were days when he just couldn't do the full set. So we know that Peetah struggled a little bit sometimes along the way. You out there on the other hand, you would never know. Because on stage, Peetah gives you the best show, the highest energy. He's still spiritual. He's just giving you the best of the best at all given times. But behind the scenes is where you would know that Peetah is not so well today. Peetah is not so well, and yeah. And sometimes what you've seen is not the best of Peetah, but it is the best of him on that day. That's the good thing about Peetah, and that's what I love about Peetah. He gives you a show at all times. And Peetah knows how to read the crowd. If the crowd is not responding like he would want them to, or how he would prefer them to respond to a particular set list or a particular song that he's singing, Peetah is the type of person that will cut that song short and he would just put a song in the set list that was not in there this whole time. Because he knows the crowd. He knows that if we're in St. Martin, or if we're in Martinique, or if we're in Germany or Italy or in Africa, there are songs that are number one in different countries. So you have to find that song where people love in a particular country. So that's what he would do. He reads the crowd and he gives them what he thinks they want. Like when we were at Sumfest, the crowd was like literally sleeping. Like we were like playing our hearts out and everybody was like looking around. There were like few little noddings of the head here and there, but the crowd, the majority was like dead. And Peetah would insert different songs here and there that was never on the set list. You wouldn't know that, but that's how it is with Peetah on stage. Now the band, you join Morgan Heritage, it's like you've just joined the military as musicians. Yeah man, everything in a Morgan Heritage run under strict order and we have to know certain things, and on stage we have to be prepared. Sometimes Peetah just signal the drummer and sometimes Dre, the keyboard player, the senior keyboard player, and he would start the song and then the drummer would roll that song off and then the rest of musicians would just follow, along. Well, I don't know, this is TR, you know who we are. Yo, this is TR, you know who we are. This is TR, you know who we are. Here we came from Slovakia, and we are at Rotterdam, Splash. Was a bear. We are tired. The last but not least, yeah, make sure to my sponsor, Apple.